Today we're looking into a case from Middlesbrough, England, involving an Indian couple. It's quite a story. There's this pharmacist in a peaceful Yorkshire town who's been leading a double life. Turns out, he strangled his wife to get his hands on her embryos and some money. Why? He wanted to run off to Australia with his secret boyfriend. We're going to unpack all the details of this case, explore the hidden affair, and try to make sense of the motives behind Jessica Patel's murder. On the evening of May 14, 2018, around 8 p.m., a man named Mitesh made a panicked call to emergency services. He told the operator, "I think we've been burgled, and my wife's been attacked." His voice was anxious and stuttering, showing the stress of the moment.
Police emergency.
Oh, hiya. I think we've been burgled and my wife's been attacked. I've just come home. I was just out. I went to get something to eat and see the lads at work and get my laptop. And I've just come home and the house is ransacked. And she's just on the floor. She's got duct tape all over her and she's unconscious.
The operator, sensing this urgency, quickly dispatched an ambulance and police to their home. As Mitesh stayed on the line, he sounded scared and flustered, telling the operator how he was removing duct tape from his wife. The operator asked if she was hurt or responding. Mitesh, clearly distraught, replied, "No, Jess, please wake up, baby." Sadly, by the time help arrived, it was too late for Jessica. Jessica, who was 34 years old and married to 37-year-old Mitesh, was found dead at the scene. When the police arrived, Mitesh showed them around the disheveled house and repeatedly told the police that a burglar had attacked Jessica. 2 days after the tragic event, Jessica's family, unaware of the truth, offered support to Mitesh during a visit to their house. Minal, Jessica's sister, described how she walked up to Mitesh, sat next to him on the sofa, and hugged him. She initially thought his tears were genuine. Jessica's father, Jay, struggled to understand why anyone would harm his daughter, noting that Jessica wasn't confrontational. Despite Mitesh's story of a break-in, the police found no signs of forced entry. The investigation took a turn when they reviewed the CCTV footage from the couple's home security system. It showed that only Jessica and Mitesh entered the house that night. Even more suspicious was the footage from a restaurant capturing Mitesh casually interacting with staff while his wife lay dead at home. In a groundbreaking forensic breakthrough, the iPhone Health app played a crucial role in the case against Mitesh. The app, which tracks daily steps, was active on both his and Jessica's phones. After Jessica's death, Mitesh's phone showed a lot of activity. In stark contrast, Jessica's health app showed no activity until after her death, with a final record of 14 steps as Mitesh moved her iPhone outside, attempting to simulate a burglar's escape. The investigation into Mitesh's actions deepened when his internet search history was examined. Disturbing searches dating back to 2013 were uncovered, including topics like how to hire a hitman in the UK, plot to kill my wife, and insulin overdose. These searches painted a picture of long-term planning, with queries such as, can 3 milliliters of insulin kill? How to complete a coroner's report, and Hindu funerals for a murdered woman, alongside searches for a new home in Australia. Mitesh's ominous online activities were complemented by substantial life insurance policies he had taken out in Jessica's name, amounting to around €2 million. The case against him was further solidified by both digital evidence and scientific findings, along with witness testimonies. On the day of the murder, May 14, 2018, scratch marks were noticed on Mitesh's neck during a visit to the pharmacy observed by both staff and police. He told them that those marks were from gym injuries, but DNA analysis contradicted his claims, as Jessica's fingernail DNA was found on his neck. His DNA was also discovered on the Tesco carrier bag used to suffocate Jessica and the duct tape that bound her. A major breakthrough in the case came when a search at the pharmacy uncovered 4 syringes of insulin and duct tape. Subsequent analysis confirmed that this duct tape matched the one used on Jessica. So what happened between this couple, who on the surface seemed perfectly happy? Jessica Patel, born on September 16, 1983, was the first child of Jai Patel. She grew up in Leeds, West Yorkshire, in a joint family of 12. Despite being from a middle-class background, the family was closely bonded and filled with love. Jessica, described by her sister Divya as a gentle and innocent soul, was known for her patience, calmness, and great sense of humor. She had a fondness for Bollywood movies and cherished dreams of love and family. A graduate in pharmacy from Manchester University, Jessica first met Mitesh as a child. They played together and later reconnected at university, where they both studied. They moved together to Manchester in 2006, pursuing their shared passion for pharmacy. Their initial bond formed through community gatherings and shared cultural backgrounds. But when Jessica's mother was diagnosed with terminal cancer, Jessica had to step back from their relationship, leading to a temporary separation. After her mother's death, Mitesh stepped back into her life, offering support and rekindling their romance. Known for being likable and outgoing, Mitesh became a source of comfort for Jessica after her mother's passing. He played the role of the perfect boyfriend, known for his romantic gestures and gifts. In 2008, Mitesh asked Jessica's father for her hand in marriage. Her father was initially hesitant, unsure if Mitesh was the right match for his daughter. But with both families sharing Hindu traditions and Mitesh's apparent supportive nature, the marriage was eventually agreed upon. The couple got married in June 2009, with a lavish wedding held in the garden of Jessica's family home in Leeds. It appeared to be the perfect start for their life together. The marriage of Jessica and Mitesh, while outwardly normal, was actually a cover for Mitesh's true sexuality, which he hid from his religious parents and the broader Hindu community. Within the first year, cracks began to show in their relationship. Jessica felt neglected by Mitesh, who had become less attentive and increasingly controlling after their wedding. Their marriage lacked intimacy, with no sexual relationship for 10 months, a fact that was both shocking and distressing. In February 2010, when Jessica's terminally ill grandfather was in palliative care, the family expected her to be present, given their close bond. But Jessica could only make brief visits. An argument about this issue with Mitesh in the car escalated, resulting in him hitting her. The abuse wasn't just physical. Mitesh occasionally throttled Jessica, causing her significant pain, and maintained a secretive demeanor. During this period, he bizarrely spread false rumors about Jessica being pregnant with twins and losing them, adding to her stress and unhappiness. She became visibly stressed, unhappy, and lost weight. In 2012, during a family holiday, Jessica confided in her family about their marital problems, and suspicions about Mitesh's sexuality were raised. Jessica's discovery of romantic text messages between Mitesh and a male lover in 2012 led her to disclose this to Mitesh's brother. A family meeting followed, but discussions about Mitesh's sexuality were sidestepped, with the blame unfairly placed on Jessica. After this, Jessica became more withdrawn and appeared fearful at family events. In 2017, Jessica found incriminating texts and images on Mitesh's phone, reigniting her suspicions about his infidelity. Shortly afterward, Mitesh bought a pharmacy business in Middlesbrough and decided to move from Leeds to Linthorpe, further isolating Jessica from her family. For Jessica, this relocation was seen as a chance to try and repair their strained marriage. As their marriage progressed, the pressure to start a family grew. After 6 years in a marriage devoid of intimacy, Jessica agreed to try IVF. In a pivotal moment in July of that year, she confronted Mitesh about the state of their relationship. Despite her pleas for honesty, Mitesh dismissed his actions as mere banter and insisted on his love for her, even though the evidence she had found told a different story. Mitesh reassured Jessica of his love, stating that if he didn't love her, they would have parted ways long ago. But when Jessica considered canceling the IVF treatment, Mitesh was unforgiving, saying he wouldn't forgive her if she actually did that. Despite this turmoil, Jessica continued with the treatment. 2 years into their marriage, Mitesh began a passionate affair with Dr. Amit Patel, whom he met on Grindr. Over the years, Jessica became aware of her husband's love for another man and his casual relationships with others from the app. And here's the crazy part. Mitesh even planned to start a family with Amit using embryos from his wife, Jessica. He kept Amit informed about the IVF process, seeking his support. Amit's response was indifferent, suggesting they would deal with the situation if Jessica became pregnant. In 2016, Amit moved to Australia, fueling Mitesh's dreams of a new life with him. Mitesh's message to Amit hinted at a grim future for Jessica. "I'm telling you, her days are marked." Jessica, unaware of these developments, found herself compelled to undergo 3 emotionally and physically taxing rounds of IVF over 2 years, leading to anxiety and panic attacks. The 4th round of IVF was successful, and on May 9, 2018, they were informed that 3 embryos had been fertilized. The implantation procedure was scheduled for the following month, marking a significant but troubling milestone in their marriage. Jessica, thrilled with the news of the successful IVF, happily shared her excitement about the prospect of becoming a mother. Tragically, just 1 day later, her life was abruptly ended. On the evening of May 14, 2018, after a late shift at the pharmacy, Jessica arrived home at 7:10 p.m. That's when she was brutally attacked by Mitesh. He injected her with insulin, tried to suffocate her with a Tesco bag for life, and ultimately strangled her, causing fractures in her voice box. Despite Jessica's attempts to fight back, leaving scratches on Mitesh's neck, her life was taken in just 20 minutes. Mitesh then used duct tape to bind Jessica's hands and feet and ransacked their home to simulate a burglary. After staging the scene, he drove to a local pizza restaurant. There, he sent a text to Jessica's phone, pretending to be picking up their order as part of his cover-up. Jessica's family came to believe that Mitesh was manipulating her desire to have children as a way to exert control over her. He used coercion to move Jessica away from Halifax, distancing her from relatives in Yorkshire and the Midlands. Jessica's sister, Minal, reflected that after their move to Middlesbrough, she saw less of Jessica, interpreting this as a strategic move by Mitesh to isolate her. In 2015, Jessica began private IVF treatments. But during the murder investigation, it was revealed that Mitesh secretly used medication to reduce his sperm count, making natural conception unlikely for Jessica. Colleagues at the pharmacy had discovered this, and CCTV footage also showed Mitesh being intimate with another man. Mitesh's behavior at the pharmacy included shouting at Jessica in front of customers and staff, and employees noted signs of physical abuse, such as Jessica limping from being hit by a mobile phone thrown by Mitesh. The investigation also uncovered Mitesh's frequent use of Grindr and his dishonesty with colleagues. The report highlighted how Mitesh often caused Jessica emotional distress, engaging in aggressive actions like slamming doors, throwing objects, and kicking fixtures in the pharmacy. None of these incidents were reported to the police or any other agency until the homicide investigation. In April 2016, Jessica consulted her GP about anxiety and stress related to fertility issues, resulting in a referral for cognitive therapy. But the GP missed an opportunity to inquire about potential domestic abuse. The independent review concluded that Mitesh murdered Jessica in what was considered an honor killing. This was to escape the marriage due to cultural pressures regarding his sexuality within the Hindu community. Divorce, especially on the grounds of homosexuality, was not acceptable in his cultural context. So in short, Jessica's conduct was not a problem, but her murder was deemed an honor killing because Mitesh believed it would protect his own honor. 3 days following the tragic event, Mitesh was arrested and charged, leaving his and Jessica's family reeling from shock. The trial lasted 3 weeks, and the jury took just under 3 hours to convict Patel. The court heard how Patel had incapacitated Jessica with an insulin injection before strangling her in their home. This attack was the culmination of years of physical assaults and controlling behavior inflicted upon Jessica. The prosecution argued that Patel's primary aim was to break free from his strict Hindu upbringing and move to Australia to be with his male lover and start a new life. In December 2018, the judge sentenced Mitesh to a minimum of 30 years in prison, describing the crime as a brutal attack on a quiet and gentle woman. The judge highlighted Patel's lack of remorse, noting he only felt pity for himself. Throughout the sentencing, Patel showed no emotion. This case, showcasing the extreme lengths a selfish man went to fulfill his own needs at the cost of another's life, was featured in the 2nd season of the Netflix documentary Meet, Marry, Murder. The ideal marriage is a dream for many, but finding such a perfect partnership is rare. Jessica's story tells us to be vigilant in our relationships, to trust our instincts, and to seek help if something feels wrong. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.